Good morning, this is John checking, and let's talk about the advantages of aging just for a couple of minutes, maybe even 10 minutes. Number one, in my whole life, not since I was a little kid and my parents were buying clothes for me, have so many people actually given me things. What do I mean by that? I'll tell you two different stories on that very subject. So, point number one, one of the advantages of aging is people seem to be a lot nicer to you than they used to be. Point. One day my doorbell rings, and one of my neighbors, who is just about as old as I am, had an armful of suits. That is, men's beautiful tailored suits from his deceased dad, who also is a little guy like me, about 5'5", 5'6", weighed about 140 to 150 pounds, and those clothes fit me like they were made for me. They're a little too revealing in terms of I'm a great looking guy in shape, or at least the suits look great and could only be worn by somebody who is in shape. So that's point number one. Point number two, a lady at the gym said, I just don't know many slender people, and you're one of them. My husband has this, or our deceased husband had this $1,000 or $1,100 suit, and I'd like to give it to you if that's okay. Son of a gun, it fits just fine too. So literally, I've gotten 2 tuxedos and about 3 suits. Not that I need any clothing. In addition to that, another advantage of aging is simply, if I think I need something, I could just go in one of our 9 closets and see if I don't already have 2 of them. Think blue blazers. I'm not going to tell you how many blue blazers I have, but it's about 3 too many. How do you actually get to be an older person at the ripe old age of 75? Number one, like I said earlier, people are nicer to you. But in terms of how you start early and finish strong, if you were lucky enough to grow up a long time ago, 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, on the back of Wheaties boxes, a cereal breakfast of champion, they used to have exercises. Yeah, they sure did. And if you actually finished up the cereal box, cut out the back of the cereal box, and followed the exercises on a regular basis, you too could have been stronger and flexible and not very old. In addition to that, there's all kinds of stuff in a basement in New Jersey to pick up and move around. And my dad was kind enough to have a coal-burning furnace, so we got to unload the ashes from the bottom of the furnace, carry them out of up the stairs, out of the basement, which was not heated, not insulated, not anything but freezing in the winter and warm in the, well, actually it was not too warm in the summer. So that built up some muscle just simply carrying out the ashes. In addition to that, we ran a basketball league in our backyard. In addition to that, we built a swimming pool in our backyard and swam on a regular basis, learned how to snorkel and scuba dive. So being physically active is great. However, there's a study called Blue Zones. Blue Zones. Highly recommend taking a look at the Blue Zones research. At first, they years ago went to several different communities, one of which was in Northern California, one of which was in Italy, another which was in Japan. I forget where the other 2 were. It found some common characteristics of people who lived a long time. One, they seemed to be a member of a vibrant community. That's a nice way of saying they took walks together, they volunteered together, they helped each other out, they supported each other in terms of being there. And you know what else? There were no gyms. There were no gyms in any of those places. The people actually did real work, whether it was gardening, volunteering, carrying stuff to church. Also, it seemed like they had societies which had a lot in common with each other, whether it was a church or a profession. And they lived in communities which got together on a regular basis. So community actually is a much more important thing to do than the things I love to do, which is exercise on a regular basis. Get yourself checked by a doctor. Also, I highly recommend getting tested by Viome, Viome.com, where you can do a poop test. And in the poop test, they check what your biomes are doing in your gut. They also do a blood test, which I really don't like, this, I really don't like pricking myself and bleeding just to see what my bloodstream is doing. Also, you might consider getting a checkup on a regular basis. You might also, if you're a guy, have your prostate checked on an annual basis at the very least. We have some friends and clients who get to go to the doctor once a quarter because they have so many different health challenges. Also, in my case, I'm kind of analytical, and I've got 2 scales. Actually, I have 3 scales in my closet, and son of a gun, I actually weigh on 2 scales every day just to make sure they're both accurate. Keeping track of fat, weight, pulse, age in terms of what my chemistry looks like, and at 75, I still can walk and talk, despite the fact that all kinds of health challenges that surround me on a constant basis. So 1, community is helpful. 2, mental attitude is absolutely essential. 3, exercise can be helpful as well. And exercise, for those of you who don't want to do pull-ups, push-ups, leg lifts, sit-ups, hit a heavy punching bag, do the Wim Hof method, finish up with cold showers, might simply take a walk around the block or take up gardening and enjoy the fruits of your labor by having a salad every morning that you're growing in your backyard or side lot, or even just in a pot in your home. So again, community, mindset, activity. Oh yeah, and you might drink lots of good filtered water. Personally, I like spring water even more than filtered water, because spring water commonly still has the minerals in it. As any number of people who know me will tell you, I do take a handful of vitamins on a regular basis. Luckily, thank God, I do not take any prescriptions at this time, nor have I had any prescriptions prescribed at this time, despite being 75 years of age. So I'm going to repeat things again and again and again so that you cannot possibly not understand what I said to you. Number 1, community is essential for aging successfully. Whether it's a poker group with 2 guys in their 80s, 1 guy in his 70s, and 2 guys in their 50s. Whether it's a cigar group with a guy who's 90 and 2 other guys that are in our 70s, and 1 guy that's in his 50s. Whether it's a walk around the block group with a taekwondo master and a retired aeronautical engineer who periodically gets called to do work. Whether it's going to the New Kings of Swing and watching my wife, who's just about as old as I am, and a 93-year-old singer, sing in a band that's even older than I am, play on Thursdays. Or going to a yoga class taught by a lady who's almost as old as me, and has a room full of people who love going to her class. Now, I'm a member of the Jaguars Club in Texas, the Mercedes-Benz Club in Texas, and a couple of antique car show places. And I really enjoy antique cars. Drive a 20-year-old Jaguar sedan, an XJ-RR1, and I've got a now 6-year-old, holy cow, convertible made by Mercedes-Benz, and it has a full-size trunk. So, community, mindset, activity, drinking good water, getting checked up on a regular basis, responding properly to whatever the heck it is that ails you. Have fun, be well. This is John Checky talking about successful aging. Enjoy.